reasonable.
That's very reasonable.
Colm, what's your view?
Well, I'd have no problem with a replay.
Would you not?
No, I'd have no problem with a replay. But I think that Meath shouldn't be backed into a corner here and sort of put in a moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we have a system here where the referees are asked about their reports the following day in incidents to do with indiscipline. And, like, the right thing to do here now is to go back to the referee and say, did you make a mistake? And if you made a mistake,
the rule doesn't allow it, Colm, that's the problem.
I know, but, like, if you have it operating on indiscipline, it should be the referee could say, you know, I made a mistake here. And if the referee was willing to do that, it should not be up to Meath. It shouldn't be up to Leinster Council or Central Council or anybody else to put the pressure on Meath to do something. Like, they're the innocent bystanders and all of this.
I totally accept that.
So it's up to the central authority to make the move.
But the
if they say they're going to replay it,
the precedent, if we take the Laois Carlow, and you remember the score some years ago, was that a replay was offered, and that is it's not satisfactory
Clare
either.
Hurlers offered Offaly Hurlers a replay.
That was slightly different, Des, and that was a time issue.
Yes,
that was a time issue which the GSE ruled on at the time, and that's reasonable for them to do so. But I repeat this, I don't want to labour the point, but we don't have a mechanism, we don't have a rule, but it would be very big of the GA to sort it out.
Can I just make one point, Colm? I accept you saying Meath should not be backed into a corner, and you're right, they shouldn't be backed into a corner. Do you think that they may offer? Well, if they're meeting tomorrow night to discuss
it would be a very noble gesture, obviously, to offer to replay the thing. But, you know, people will be talking tomorrow and writing in papers about justice and fair play. In actual fact, justice and fair play doesn't operate in sport. We've seen it in the World Cup. We've seen it in all other incidents where matches are decided by a goal that wasn't a goal or point that wasn't a point.
Rugby some years ago.
So, like, you know, actual fair play and justice oftentimes goes out the window in sport. But, you know, there is a bigger picture here. I wonder, though, would there be the same calls if the ball went into the Meath net? I wouldn't. I would say probably not. But, like, you know, there are times if somebody in a higher authority says, you know, I think that this game should be replayed and it's fixed for next Sunday, fine. But I don't think Meath should have to make a decision on it.
It would allow the nation to love Meath again, I think.
I think for years. I think we prefer to be in a minority of one. We feel much happier with ourselves.
All right, then. Well, look, final thoughts on it then, Kevin. Would you like to see a replay offered?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's the right thing to do. It's the big thing to do. And I agree absolutely with what Colm is saying. They shouldn't be backed into, but the replay is the correct result. How they get to that decision, I'm not so sure how they're going to do it. I think at the end of the day, Meath are going to have to say, look, this is totally unsatisfactory for Meath as well.
Absolutely. And for the players tonight.
To no fault of their own.
And as Eamon O'Brien said, there's not much pleasure in it for them.
No.
All right, well, look, this talk will go on, and I've no doubt on radio stations tomorrow it'll go on for a long time. Colm, the nominees for Man of the Match, and there are many great old performers today.
Yeah, well, in general, you know, they came from the Louth side, but Graham Riley had a brilliant first half for Meath, and he scored 4 great points from play. And Mark Brennan, the Louth centre-half forward, he worked his socks off all day. He's a great worker. And
Eamon
McCauley, the Louth corner back to, he got himself around the pitch, even though he ended up losing the ball for the last ball that went in for Meath, but he covered a lot of ground all day too.
And Kevin, who did you give it to?
Well, in the end, we gave it to Eamon McCauley, and with the proviso that, you know, he did have a sticky opening quarter, no question about that. But he kind of epitomised what Louth were about, in that he didn't give up. He stayed at it, got himself back into the game, got on a lot of ball throughout the day, and we felt on a day that it was difficult to pick man of the match, that McCauley did a lot of good work, a lot of tidying up, got on a fair bit of ball, and we gave him man of the match.
It was a day when there probably wasn't that many great individual performances from either side. Both sides will think that they can play a lot better.
All right then. Well, let's hear from our man of the match, Eamon McCauley.
Joanne Leonard-Wright of Ulster Bank is going to present our man of the match with his award. Congratulations, Brian. Eamon, obviously you played very well and you got your man of the match trophy, but of course it can't make up for what happened at the end of that match.
No, it's just I've lost 2 finals before, and it's just you can't even talk about it. It's just so disappointing.
Not just to lose, though, the manner in which you lost, I'm sure.
We came out in the second half and just won every broken ball, every breaking ball, and just won everything and gave everything, and just didn't come out where we wanted at the end of the day.
All right, disappointment then for Eamon and Louth, but this will run, I've no doubt, this story. Lots more to come on the Sunday game, though. We bring you a very dramatic finish to the Munster Hurling Final and all of the drama and excitement of the weekend's qualifiers. Now, a word about our special programme next Sunday night. We have a live audience in studio. As part of our highlights show, we'll look back on the first half of the Championship 2010 and look forward to the concluding and exciting stages of the Hurling and Football Championships. As always, we'll have the highlights of all of the weekend action, including the Ulster and Connacht Football Finals and all the qualifiers in both hurling and football. So don't forget to join me from 9:30 here on RTÉ2. Well, the draw for the football qualifiers was made this evening. This is the draw. It's Dublin versus Armagh, Wexford versus Cork, Derry at home to Kildare, and Offaly have home advantage against Down. We'll chat about those in a moment, but first let's see how they qualified over the weekend. And we're going to break the 8 matches into 2 groups of 4. Our first roundup begins with Kildare versus Leitrim.
A first ever championship meeting for these two in front of over 6,000 supporters. Kildare haven't lost a qualifier in 3 years. Leitrim have never won in the back door. But it was Mickey Moran's men who took the lead. After 5 minutes, Ray Mulvey with the point. Another from Michael Foley soon after, and Leitrim were 2 up. They could have had a goal too. Daniel Beck beat Shane McCormack in goal, but not the crossbar. An early let-off for Kildare, who went 20 minutes without a score. Johnny Doyle missed some early frees, but made amends with this one. Kildare finally off the mark. Point of the match to Leitrim midfielder Shane Canning from all of 60 yards. Leitrim back in front after 25 minutes. But Kildare then hit 4 points in a row to close out the first half. This, the pick of them, from Eamon Callaghan. 3 points ahead at the break, 6 points to 3. The rain got heavier in the second half and Kildare took their time to score again. James Kavanagh, 15 minutes in, steadying Kildare nerves. They hit 19 wides in total on the night, and this one should have hit the net. Pádraig O'Neill with just the keeper to beat, wide again. On the hour mark, and finally a goal. Eamon Callaghan's high ball, Tomás O'Connor's catch and pass. James Kavanagh took the honours. 1-4 his total for the game. Kildare 7 points up now, game over. Leitrim's brave battle over now. Hughie Lynch making sure for the Lily Whites at the finish. They move on to round 3 and are well on course for a 3rd quarter final in 3 years. Leitrim's difficult year finally draws to an end.
We were very poor in the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of both halves. They tried hard and they worked hard, but there probably wasn't a lot of results for their endeavour. Took a lot of wrong options, when there was easy scores there, taking bad decisions. But it came good for them in the end. But for to progress any further, there has to be a huge improvement.
It's been an awful difficult year. We lost 10 on the panel last year, and we lost Philip this year. And try it hard. The boys gave a great effort, but try as hard as they can. We put of heart and souls out of it, but they did their best, and I'm very proud of them.
There hasn't been a whole lot to shout about for Dublin fans thus far in the 2010 Championship. And frustrations were reflected in the turnout at a damp headquarters yesterday, with just over 22,000 watching this qualifier joust with Tip. Those who braved the elements did see Pat Gilroy's men open an early advantage, with the Brogan brothers and Ross McConnell all on target. And though Stephen Hassey eventually got Tipperary off the mark, 3 more Dublin scores followed, including a 45 from Stephen Cluxton that left the home side 5 points to the good after just 10 minutes. Points from Barry Grogan and Conor Sweeney did settle the visitors' nerves, but Owen O'Gara and Michael Darren McCauley then combined for the game's first goal, and Tip looked in trouble. They responded in the best possible manner, however. Dublin's defence, outdone by a quick ball in,